Playing with my lighting.
GM Adrienne, we're live.
Can.
We're gonna see.
What do you
wait for her to adjust her lighting? GM, everyone. What a day. This is going to be an amazing show. We're excited because we have James, vpabundance, coming on from Octant, and I'm really excited to dive into all the Octant things and get some explanation on some things and learn more.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. And before that, we're going to do some Farcaster news. But before that, we're going to do this. We'll be back in 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrienne, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, April 23rd, and you are here with Nanish Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day, plus our interview with James, vpabundance from Octant. And I do need to tweet this out really quickly. I didn't get to that part. I was casting, but we need to get this out to the world or crypto Twitter at least. Adrienne, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing so happy. I am so cranky in my real life. And I was thinking sometimes I'll go to our YouTube channel and just like look at all of our thumbnails of like and I realized that this like 29 minutes is the happiest time of my week.
That's good.
Like I just feel like we're constantly cracking each other up. And it's a very happy time, and everything else in my life is annoying me these days. So, yeah,
that's fair.
Can I be happy here and and happy nowhere else?
And happy nowhere else. Yeah, you know what? I feel that. I do feel that. And I do. It's really funny too when I watch back some of the things or listen back even to a clip, and sometimes I laugh back at us because we're kind of funny. So that's always good. And I do see James in here a little bit early. We'll be with you just shortly. We're going to do some Farcaster news real quick and then bring him up. I know we get a little bit of therapy for Adrienne happening now. I'm going to start with this because I need you to explain the hat. Why are you getting called out in this hat? So this is gregarious. Dang, Adrienne is going to look great, right? Odd job. And then this.
I can't believe you don't know. So yeah. So first of all, there's this, there's a token called degen.
Oh, okay.
Very popular in the Farcaster ecosystem. It launched in January of 2024. Okay.
And you claimed right away, right? You went and
I did not claim right away.
For those who are new.
That's another story. So the purple top hat is the sign of degen, of course. I know you know this. Someone found a purple top hat in a vintage store in Denver.
Okay.
And then someone created a Pix or It Didn't Happen, POIDH bounty to say if they could raise, there you go, via Kenny, people were trying to raise $90 worth in degen so someone could go buy the hat, bring it to FarCon, and have me wear it. I had nothing to do with this. Why am I involved? I think it's just because they know it will be shown.
They know you'll actually
they know
wear
I don't
it.
really want. I think they know I don't really want to wear it. So
but you will.
I will have to. I will be. Of course, I will.
This is so funny. Somehow I had missed this completely. And then, this is absolutely hilarious. I actually had bought one of these almost exactly like this for Yasik for last year's FarCon, and he still has it and he still wears it. So
Or did he
you
drop
two would
it
look
off
great
at
together.
at
Or
a
he
thrift
dropped,
store
or
in
it got
Denver?
ended up in the thrift store in Denver, and that's the same hat, which would be
That would be
even funnier.
hilarious.
That would actually be funnier. Okay, so looking forward to seeing this on your head very soon. And in other news, this is happening today. Zora, it is dropping their token. It is out now. And claims are going live as well for airdrops. So we'll see what happens. But there's a lot going on there. So if you're seeing that on your timeline, it is real. Well, be careful. There's one that's real. By the way, the contract address is hilarious because it starts with a whole bunch of ones. It's like 0x and then 1, like a whole bunch of ones. I'm like, I don't know how he managed to brute force that one, but congratulations. It was very Jacob coded. I'll just say that. Very Jacob coded. I am sporting my Enjoy shirt today in honor.
Oh, nice.
In honor of it. Honor of it all. Farcaster news. This from Gabriel Oeso. Introducing mini apps search on mobile. Access it by tapping the top right search icon on the mini app screen. Autocomplete mini app names as you type. Richer search on submit based on name, description, category, and tags when available. Very cool. And I liked this example that Dan gave. Search for prolific mini app builders like JC4P and Compaz.eth, that's a really cool feature that you can search by the creator's name and look at how many apps they've created. Like, that's craziness. I had no idea. Like, looking at it like this is nuts. And you can't even make one?
I'm trying my hardest. Yesterday was a really rough day. It was so hard.
Okay. It's okay. I know you'll get there. I'm sure you'll get there. This is really funny on Twitter. Vladimir said, has Farcaster XYZ been building in silence? Since the new developer docs were released, a wide range of brand new dApps have been introduced, strongly supported by Base. Mini apps on Farcaster are getting widely used, and showed all these different apps. And my comment back was, in silence? No. 236 episodes of GM Farcaster is a lot of yapping, not a lot of silence. So just search GM Farcaster wherever you get your podcasts, people. You'll see we've been talking about all these apps often. And yeah, so we're over here sharing all the building things. You just have to be paying attention. So Vladimir, come listen.
In fairness, to defend Vladimir, we talk a lot.
We don't know.
We talk about Farcaster in Farcaster.
True.
We are not the best. Like, we're not meeting people on where they're at.
We're literally streaming on Twitter right now. I'm just saying.
Totally live.
We're totally live on Twitter right at this moment.
We're trying to talk
and have been for well over.
Okay, whatever. You're right.
So just saying. But Vladimir, come listen up. We got all the alpha for you. I swear. Speaking of alpha, this from V, working on a new mini app to make finding music to work too easy. Please reply with a 30-minute plus electronic music set that you like to work to. If I like it, it will be featured in the app. YouTube links only. So I didn't pull this because it was about music you can play in the background, Adrienne. What does this say to you?
That I should be able to make a mini app?
I didn't mean that, but yes.
I don't know why you pulled this, but my immediately thought that I was like, oh, this is making me very bearish on Farcaster because all Dan talks about is focus, focus, focus. And I'm like, why is this CTO trying to build a mini app to listen to music? Then I realized he's trying to they want to make developer experience easy. So this is Varun trying to dog food and go through the experience of like, what does it take to build an app? He just happened to choose music. So
exactly.
now I'm back to bullish.
Well, I mean, how many times have we said what we'd really love is for us to be able to go live on YouTube on Farcaster, like within a frame, which you can do in a very weird workaround with Paragraph, but it's not going to be something that's going to make much sense. So to me, this was like my first thought when I saw this was, oh, if you can do it with music, you can do it with podcasts. So we'll see. We'll see what you come up with there. I would like a notification when we go live. Thank you. Please and thank you, V. This from Dan Unimon is a Uniswap powered mini app game by Uniswap. And I just thought it was weird and cute. You get your little egg and I guess you evolve it or something. I'm not exactly sure, but cute little app from Uniswap. And why I pulled that one was because like I'm thinking this is going to be the way we see more brands advertising. And I say that in this way is through games, through mini apps, through fun experiences rather than just advertising in your face. So very cool. This also in mini app news, Drawcast, a mini app game. Apparently there's a couple around where you click on it and then you can, you click this, it will give you a clue in which you have to draw it. Like you'd have to draw a ring, which I mean, I can try. All right, there we go. Not bad. Maybe like you get it. I'm going to choose not to share that one. Because I already shared a really bad one already. Let's see if you can guess what that is.
Pregnant cow. Reindeer.
Deer. Yes, it's deer. So there you go. Pregnant cow is so much better. And then this from Horsefacts. I've seen not one, but two draw something frames go viral today and only one dick on the timeline, which wasn't even in a frame. Great job, everyone. We are never beating the allegations that it's Christian Trap. Okay, moving on to FarCon, which is, oh my God, 10 days away. This from us, GM Farcaster, has two events coming up at FarCon. One is a breakfast meetup. You do have to be a member of our Hypersub for that one. And we are limited to 20 people. So hurry and RSVP if you're one of our Hypersub holders. We'd love to see you. And then we also have karaoke, which is on April 30th at 5 p.m. We do have priority for our Hypersub holders, but you can request waitlist. And if we have room, we'll approve you. So very excited for both of these. And I can't believe it's like a week today. We're going to be there. So that's crazy. So get your, by the way, this would look fantastic while you're singing. I'm just saying, just an idea. If you can pull that off, I think you look great doing your karaoke in this hat. All right. Forgot to mention this. There was an AMA with Tarun Chitraf, founder of Gauntlet. So you can go check that out. It's already up. And then where else did I want to go? I missed my other FarCon stuff. I lost it. Hold on. Here we go. This from Dylan. FarCon NYC mini app, attendee directory, and you can filter by Builders Day and the summit. When you click on a user, you'll see credential work history powered by Icebreaker. So that is really cool. So check that out before you head to FarCon. Also, you should have a email waiting for you regarding the FarCon Summit with all the details. There's also 2 chats that you can join as well to get some answers if you have any questions, or drop them in the FarCon New York channel. We'll also have Emma on Friday. So I'm very excited to chat with her. Yeah, we're always there giving her, like being her venting place. So hopefully things are going to go amazing and I can't wait. It's going to be super fun.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to organize events for a community driven event.
Yeah, for sure. It's a ton of work. Even if it's not community driven, it's a ton of work, any event. This from Alina Ferry, GM everybody, FarCon Creator Scholarship applications are now live. Quick summary. Applications will be open from 9 p.m. EST Tuesday, that was yesterday, through 9 p.m. EST Sunday, this coming Sunday. We have 27 scholarships to give away. Each scholarship is $200 USDC. the cost of a FarCon Summit ticket. If you received a scholarship from the FarCon NYC coordinators or a pass to Builders Day, then you are not eligible to receive a creator scholarship. Scholarship Distribution Committee members are also not eligible for the scholarship. All other artists, creators are welcome to apply below. A very basic form. There you go. So go check that out if you are coming to FarCon. That's amazing that they ended up with 27. Fantastic. That was all crowdfunded and amazing. This from Humpty, I forgot to set this up so we can hear it, but Onchain Creator House is also next week in New York. Thanks to Base, Farcaster, Rodeo.club, Pods, Matcha, Octant, Own the Doge for their support that helped make this possible. So very excited for that. I'll be popping in there. That is on Thursday. While you are hacking away, I'll be doing that. Some other news. This from Steve, our friend Steve Dillon Dev, introducing Deep Space, a mini app hackathon by Orbiter. From April 28th through May 3rd, build and host your best mini apps on Orbiter and qualify to win a lifetime hosting plan, as well as other prizes from our sponsors, like Pingham, who is throwing in a 500 million lemon to the pot. Add the Deep Space mini app to receive notifications as we push out updates. So very cool. Go check that out if you are building mini apps, Adrienne. Sorry, no pressure.
So
no pressure.
My venting, by the way, Steve and Justin together, but are building Orbiter, which is a static website hosting service on IPFS. So it is kind of the decentralized option. They've been doing a really good job. And I love the idea of kind of hackathons to get people to build. My frustration when you said, oh, building a mini app. When you're building a mini app, there's no shortage of people offering solutions that will get you from 0 to mini app in 60 seconds or less. So that was like one of my frustrations yesterday. Is like, which path do I even go on? Like everyone's like, do this, do this, do this. So yes, I know Orbiter is one.
Because there's Orbiter, there's the Coinbase wallet.
Coinbase has a mini kit.
There's also Nanar.
Farcaster has one. Nanar has one.
Yeah. So there's a
then
lot
you
of
have
options.
Developers just jumping into your DMs, just being like, here's a GitHub repo. All you just got to clone it and you're done. Anyway, can we do some therapy? I really just wanted to do the the most minimal, simplest, like what is the easiest, simplest path to go from 0 to mini app. And I wanted to actually do the Farcaster one. So yes, there's all these other stuff, but as soon as I tried the Farcaster package, it failed. It errored out.
Okay.
I don't know who to yell at. Deodad, Gabriel, Linda.
Maybe.
Things change, whatever. And you don't know. I don't know if it's me. Like, is the issue me?
Is it skill issue? Is it a problem?
Yeah, and things change all the time, right? So it could just be, is that library kept up to date? Then I went to the Nanar one, worked immediately. It was great.
Oh, so that's good.
So
that's good to know.
Good job.
And speaking of,
then
speaking of, they were next.
The problem with mini apps. No, I'm not done complaining about mini apps.
Sorry,
the problem with mini apps, and I'll just say, is like you want to code something.
I forgot. This is a feelings check-in today.
It's not even a feelings. If you want to code, here's the thing about the beauty of a mini app is it launches in Farcaster and you have your Farcaster context and a wallet. Okay, that's so cool. So you know who's navigating your site, their wallet, but you can't test that locally when you're running, right? Because you don't have a context of Farcaster. So you have to do a thing called when you're hosting your code locally and you need to test it on Farcaster, there's something called a tunnel, which basically takes your private little code base and lets you view it on the open web, like the public web. So I'm just saying that's another thing when something doesn't work. Is it an issue with the tunnel? Is it an issue with my code? Is it an issue with the dev tools, which, they're only now starting to really invest in.
Right.
And guess what? It's not my full-time job. I'm just a hobbyist. I have other things to do, so I get frustrated really easily. Anyway, I know it's all going to work out. I can't wait for the Build-a-thon event over.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited for you to be at Builders Day. And then, I think this is great feedback, though. because we want hobbyists. I mean, JC4P is essentially a hobbyist. It's not his full-time job either. You know what I mean? Like, so we want more, but we want more people to be able to do this easier, not
Yeah,
just like,
JC4P is
yeah,
an AI bot, I'm pretty sure, and he's the AI turning out other. But I also know, and
yeah.
the reason I also know is like as I know, as soon as I have the first one, every other one becomes super easy because it's like you're just kind of copying what you've done. And
Right,
every developer who thinks you can just take a GitHub repo and clone it, what they're not realizing is like the code isn't necessarily the hard part. It's the learning. It's like it's the
right.
learning curve for me to understand how to build it. What are the components that go into it? How do you deploy it? How, so
And test it and all the things you're just saying. Like,
yes,
there's all these different parts to it. So it's not as easy as it seems, as some of these people make it seem, but also awesome. Awesome for you to keep going, keep trying. I appreciate it.
thanks.
I do. I do. I mean, I've had my thoughts of where I wanted to try some things, and I'm like, I am so out of my league here, but I am going to try the Ohani AI, and we are going to have them on Monday. So I am going to do some playing around with that and see how far I get. This is from Rish. Speaking of Nanar, we've long been building for the machines. Nanar is now usable without any account or API keys. Just call the API and pay with a crypto wallet on a per request basis. This is in test phase right now, so our free API endpoints are now open on base Sepolia. Will get enabled for all our endpoints over the next couple months. HG Quasia spearheading this on our side, and thanks to programmer and Nemild for the work on the 402 side. Excited to do more here. So pretty cool. Go check this out if you are building on Nanar. I only understood
Okay,
half of
that's
that.
so cool. If you think about like all the different APIs and services, like for you to use it, it's all APIs are sold to developers, which
Right.
means you sign up through an email address, you give a credit card, like you're selling to a person who uses your API. This is the first time, I'm sure other like infrastructure companies are doing this as well, but this is just the first time I've really thought about it is like building for machine first, which is
Yeah.
the ability for you to use an API, for code to use your API without knowing who you're selling to, really, and it's just paying with crypto.
Right. Which, yeah, this allows for the AI agents, more of that kind of approach, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This from Forvork. Okay, I'm actually liking Farcaster. So many interesting stories of random people, interaction and comments, and it feels like a genuine place. Feels like the old internet, not overcrowded, genuine stories, lots of niche discussions. The channels are a gold mine as well. Recently discovered gardening and might start having plants myself too. I mean, that's amazing. We should probably send them to catwalk and get a catwalk with plants. I even started meeting people IRL from Farcaster. So far, it was very interesting to be a lurker on Farcaster. Still don't understand the algo, and it's to write posts that get noticed. But maybe my posts just suck, and we're not not for this space. But so far, Farcaster's been good, much better than a year ago. So that was cool to see. And just keep casting. Just cast. Don't overthink it. I saw Rish post something like that. It should be a t-shirt. And I'm like, oh, I should have made that t-shirt. But yeah, just cast. Don't overthink it. This from Nounspace. It's official. Nounspace just got faster, smarter, way more fun. Read about what's new or better. See for yourself on nounspace.com. Works on phones now. Also, so it was just on web. Now it's on phone. A lot of information in this thread about the different changes and upgrades. So go check that out if you are interested. Nounspace is a really kind of a cool approach, different approach for a Farcaster client, sort of based on the MySpace approach. This from Scout Game. $dev is live and the official contract address is out there. You can swap for this, but mostly it's for using it within the Scout game, which is a way to sort of, I don't know if bet on is the right word, but predict which devs are going to be the most prolific. I'll put it that way. So kind of a cool approach to gaming, if you will, gaming the dev space. Is that how would you, I think that's how I'd describe it. right?
Yeah, I was like,
know?
I call it fantasy sports,
There we go. That's the word.
but
Yeah.
instead of kind of betting on professional athletes and making you're doing it based on open source
Professional
developers.
devs. Open
But
source
open
developers.
source.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yes.
I think it's all open source.
Specifically open source. So congratulations, Chris Corella, on that launch. That's fantastic. He's been working hard on that. This from Ponder, past 50,000 Ponder transactions. That's amazing from only 37 people. That's crazy. So congratulations on this milestone. 50,000 transactions is a remarkable achievement for Ponder. The platform growth demonstrates the community enthusiasm for social prediction. Yes, the AI is congratulating itself, which is kind of funny. Couple more quick things before we get James up here. This is from RS Kagi from Ryan regarding Base Creators Directory. Today at 2 p.m. PT, we launched the Base Creators Directory live on stream. Tune into the first episode of the Base Creators Show, now broadcasting from x.com, Build on Base and Base Creators every Wednesday. Register here. With this first episode, we celebrate the official launch for the Base Creators Directory mini app, a free resource to bring more visibility and opportunities to creators on Base. So more info there, and you'll see the mini app going live as well. So very cool. I still need to get us in there. And with that, I think I'm going to stop there on that. And let's bring up our friend James to the show here, so we can talk about Octant. Hello, GM.
Hi there. Sorry, just had my mic muted.
I know. I surprised you. I kind of like, hey, just shocked you. Oh, I need to change my. Oh, I meant to put the little Octant guy so I could put him up here, and I forgot to grab him. You got to see our backgrounds though. We've got our degen.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, our degen and dragons backgrounds here, ready to go.
You're putting my background to shame. It's way better than what I have going on. So
we bring
here in a sec.
Yeah, we bring it, and we've been wearing these ones for our Wednesday shows too. So we love Octant. I love this little guy who's on our background here down in the corner. He's adorable.
Oh, Octi, yeah.
Yeah, Octi. Octi is his name, yes. So excited to have him on. I'm actually going to switch it to this one. So we have the Octant logo instead, but I love Octi too. He's very cute. So welcome, James, aka VP Abundance, best title in the world. Can you let's start there, because I kind of love that that title, and you had said something about that fairly recently, and I want to pull this up really quick. Ethereum is big enough for everyone. The pie is big enough for everyone. Think abundantly. And I love that framing. So talk about like where that, vice president of abundance came from.
Yeah, totally. I see a lot of folks kind of arguing within the Ethereum ecosystem around a lot of different topics, and there's this like competitive nature, I think, mainly around the L2s, but it's broader as well. And in the same time, a lot of these same people are talking about how Ethereum is going to be the settlement layer for the internet, and if it is that, then every ecosystem building in Ethereum is going to have more than enough. And so I reflect on all this, and I really think that we should be doing a much better job at uplifting everybody rather than pointing out about how my L2 is faster than your L2, like my protocol has more liquidity than your protocol, et cetera, et cetera. Like we're fighting with each other when at the end of the day, we're building in the same ecosystem. And because we're so decentralized versus the likes of Solana and others, there are some disadvantages there. And I think at the end of the day, one of the big things, if we do it right, is our community and our relationship to one another. So like really tapping into that more and being positive sum is basically what I was trying to get at with that message.
Yeah, I so agree with that, especially when I see like I don't know, even just Solana arguing with Ethereum, and it's like, you guys, like, we got bigger fish to fry. Can we
Totally.
stop the infighting? Like,
Totally. Yeah.
the
Like,
rest
you
of the
know,
world isn't like getting that detailed.
and I'm reminded of that all the time. Like, I go home for Thanksgiving dinner and like everybody is like, "Oh, you work in crypto." And it's
Yeah.
like that's the attitude that like the majority of people in this world have of crypto. And so there's like there's this mindset shift that I think we need to get to within like the broader public. And it's so interesting how we kind of sit in our own little world and have all this infighting and, you know, hone in on these values, but like it's not the way the rest of the world sees us right now. And I think a lot of this infighting like kind of contributes to us staying small rather than, you know, growing bigger and bigger.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I would think, by the way, like just the whole abundance mindset of abundance and positive sum, forget crypto. Like it literally should apply to like
The world.
every aspect of life. And just like, any of us as individuals, like just by taking a positive sum mindset, which essentially just means for me to win, it doesn't mean someone has to lose.
Right.
100%. Yeah,
And
you hit
live
the
your
nail on
life
the
that
head.
way. It's a much more pleasant way to live.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of when you talk about competition, right? Because people like competition and competition is good, but I was pulling back, Prof, from my notes from Senius when we talk about kind of
Yeah.
Farcaster as the Senius. You can still have friendly competition.
Right.
So there's
Totally.
and you can use competition to like hone your craft and be good and be the best you can. But the idea of how do you set yourself up, whatever that is, whether it's you as an individual, your company, your product, your game, like so that you can win not at the expense of someone losing.
Right.
100%.
And that's abundance. Like,
Yeah.
right.
You nailed it. Yeah, this little painting I have here in the corner too is it's a symbol called the Sri Yantra, and it's a symbol that is reflected in Hindu mythology with this goddess called Lakshmi, who's the goddess of health, wealth, and prosperity. And so, more of a personal story there with that, but that's kind of where the VP of abundance comes from. Is like you know, we're working closely with her to kind of shift people's mindset towards this more abundant thinking rather than scarcity mindset.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I had that shift back in like, I don't know, it's like 2016, weirdly enough. And it was related to Andrew Yang and that thinking of like human-centered capitalism. And it shifted a big part of my like value system, which is it in moving to more of an abundance mindset, which I very much did not have any of that for most of my life.
Oh, same. Yeah.
So it was definitely a big shift for me.
For sure.
But,
I mean, if you don't grow up with a bunch of money in the family, like I grew up extremely poor, right? And so when you see your family maybe struggling to put food on the table or, you know, a roof over your head, stuff like that can really weigh on you as a kid and kind of define, you know, some of the things that like shape your mindset. So, you know, growing out of that kind of stuff, it's a lot of work, but yeah, I can totally vouch for the fact of how much it's really worth it.
Yeah, it's like once you get there though, it's hard to you still have to kind of like for me, I have to check myself every once in a while. I get into a scarcity mindset again. I do, and I'll even say that to Adrienne every once in a while. I'm like, I'm losing my abundance mindset today. And it's like something will be bugging me, and I'm like, I need to let it go. But it's definitely a much more pleasant place to live. I will just put it that way. All right, well, let's shift gears and talk about Octant. And I lost that comment, but I know Chompex was like, good, because I don't know what Octant is. So let's start with the basics of what is Octant and what do they do before we dive into some more specifics.
Totally. Yeah. So Octant is this project that comes from like a really OG ecosystem. I'm sure folks in the crowd might quiver a little bit when they hear the name Golem. But if you don't know the history of Golem was this project that had their crowdfunding round way back in 2016, pre-ICO craze of 2017. Like they literally timed their crowdfunding round, like at the peak time they could have done it. And they raised, I think it was like 820,000 ETH in 30 minutes, which is like, we know how all that goes. So, they're sitting on this huge pile of cash. Eventually, and this isn't very well known, but eventually the project split into two. So there's Golem Network, which is still building this peer-to-peer marketplace for compute. And then there's a split off entity called Golem Foundation, which is what Octant sits under. Golem Foundation took like a pretty large portion of the remaining treasury with it when there was a split. And when Ethereum transitioned over into proof of stake, we saw this really cool opportunity both to test some experiments around sustainable funding, but also recognizing that Golem had this really poor reputation amongst the broader Ethereum ecosystem. And we don't really have to get into that, but there definitely was that sentiment there. And so that's more or less the intention around how
James,
Octant
did
was
you
born.
say poor reputation?
Yeah, very
Okay.
poor.
I thought you did from, but then when I was like, or did you say core? And I was like,
no, poor, bad,
Okay.
very
Just
bad.
wanted to get
Yeah.
that. All right.
I mean, the large thing around all that is like you're sitting on a ton of money, and there's a lot of places within the Ethereum ecosystem during that long bear market between 2017 and 2021, where a lot of people are struggling, and there was absolutely no support from Golem to like support the broader Ethereum ecosystem. And a lot of people just felt like there was this giant rug pull because the product never really took off, and there's just hundreds of millions, at one point hitting billions of dollars sitting in this treasury, and it's not doing anything. So that's why Octant essentially launched. Was we saw how important it was for Ethereum to succeed, to start funding public goods, and at the same time we wanted to start testing these models of sustainable funding. So the basic gist of it is that we've been running grant rounds every 90 days, funding broad-based Ethereum public goods, and using the staking rewards from staking a little over 100,000 ETH to power those grant rounds. So we've to date, I think, distributed a little over $7 million to hundreds of projects, and we haven't touched $1 of the principal capital, which is really, really cool to see. So we've more or less gotten very confident in this model. And so now what we're doing is essentially we're building the rails so that every other ecosystem in Ethereum that has some sort of sustainable value flow or an idle treasury that can be put into DeFi, to have that streaming to a grants program so that you can grow your ecosystem sustainably rather than drawing down on treasury or principal capital. And there's a caveat to that, in that we're not taking a fee for this technology. What we're asking is that everybody who uses it just contributes a small little piece of their yield to this meta pool of funding that we call the Ethereum Sustainability Fund, that funds base layer Ethereum public goods like Protocol Guild or an Ethereum accelerator, incubator, stuff like that really needs to, that is really important for Ethereum to have this like long-term competitive advantage.
And then that staking also is helpful to Ethereum, period. So
totally.
Well. So it's like you've got sort of a double benefit there.
Totally.
So
yeah, we run our own solo validators, have
nice.
really impressive metrics on it. So we are trying to contribute to the health and well-being of Ethereum's decentralization while doing this other stuff.
That's great. So how can other organizations, if they want to use this model and tap into what you're doing, how do they get involved? Or is that even available yet, or is that what's coming this summer?
That's what's coming this summer. So we plan to launch the first iteration of this in, I believe, August, September by the latest, but we're pretty confident around our launch date right around August. And so this is going to be the grants platform that allows ecosystems to essentially customize a grants program that works for them. So in the way that it works for us right now is we allow our token holders to lock tokens into the protocol, and then they receive part of the yield that we generate. And then the other portion of that yield gets sent to a matching pool. And so our participants essentially have a choice to make every round. They can either claim rewards for themselves, or they can donate rewards to projects. And then if they choose the latter, the matching pool essentially gets leveraged, and there's those decisions. So your money goes a lot further if you donate versus if you keep it for yourself. There's a lot of flexibility in how other ecosystems might want to run this. Maybe they don't want to give rewards to their token holders. Maybe they just want a council to decide like how yield is distributed. But essentially, we want to create a sustainable pathway for ecosystem growth through grants. And so if there are ecosystems that are interested in discussing this, reach out to me. I'm having a ton of conversations with all the biggest Ethereum ecosystems right now, which is really exciting. But
Awesome.
yeah, always happy to talk to more people if there's an opportunity.
That's amazing.
James, is there like a minimum size like of a treasury that you think a organization DAO would need for this to be succable?
It's a good
Since
question.
you're kind of
Yeah, it's a really good question. That is totally dependent upon like what would that ecosystem need to fund their growth via yield. So like if you think that a $50,000 every 6 months type of grant round will empower you to grow, then having a 20x kind of treasury around that. So what would that be? Like $1 million. Having like $1 million size treasury to be able to power that $50,000 grant round is needed. So it's all based upon like what do you need and how frequently do you need it, and kind of basing the treasury size off that. But also we're building this to where you can plug in protocol fees or sequencer revenue. Like there's a lot of various sort of revenue streams that can be plugged into it. It doesn't have to necessarily be like an idle treasury.
So have you talked, there's a lot of idle treasuries, honestly. There's a lot of community treasuries, especially from NFTs and things like that, like where people set up these treasuries and then they're not doing anything with them because it takes a lot of work to manage those kinds of programs. So anything that can simplify it, and I'm in a lot of DAOs, so this is why I know this, but even like, I'm thinking about like ENS. And I know they've done a lot with, I know they've worked with Optimism and Agora and things like that, but that is, one that pops to mind is I don't see them doing a lot. And I'm sure if it was a little easier, they might do more. And I know there's probably a ton of other organizations out there that are similar.
Totally. So yeah, we are talking to a lot of the biggest ecosystems, but the one you talked about with NFTs, I would say that's probably less true than some of this other like low hanging fruit when you go on to like DeFi Llama just to look at like the top treasuries in Ethereum.
Okay.
I would say the NFT side of things, I don't have my bases covered nearly as well. So of course would love to talk to anybody there that maybe makes sense.
Yeah, I could totally see that being something they want to tap into, especially if they, there's a lot of them that had like a community fund or community pool, or like I'm thinking of Doodles had one for a while and then it kind of fell off, like where they're not doing anything with it because it was just a lot of work to manage. So that's what makes me think that might be possible, but.
Totally. And I think, one of the biggest things that has been a success, barring risk management has been DeFi. So what we're simply saying is like hook DeFi into your community, into your grants program. And like there's so many incentives you can bake into this stuff so that you can start to drive like participation and everything else. So the building blocks are there. It's just, a matter of having these conversations.
All right. And then I wanted to jump back to how the grant rounds work that you all are running. So this is an example of one that's happening right now. I think there's 2 days left now for the climate round that was happening. So if you are holding, which token do you need to be holding in order to allocate in this round?
That's the GLM token. So that very ancient golem token that started so long ago.
Is that something that folks can still acquire to be a part of the rounds, or is this like you had to get it way back in the day kind of thing?
No, yeah. So it's on most major exchanges and pretty much every DeFi exchange as well. But the way that it works is like once the round starts, like if you didn't have tokens locked into the system before, then you wouldn't be able to participate in the round. And that's something, obviously we want to create more flexibility around for V2. The current version of Octant is very, very limited, more because we wanted to get something up quickly to be able to test these hypotheses. But with that comes like a rigidness of not being able to support, as many people that maybe want to participate in the system.
I do think that's good though, to have some kind of snapshot, because having participated in some things like that, where we used to do prop house and then you'd have people buying at the last minute or trying to game the system. It's like, no. You can't just come in at the last minute and try and rig things. No.
Oh,
that doesn't work.
we
Like,
are
so it's
not
always
immune to
good
that
have
at
that.
all. Yeah, we have definitely seen projects that were trying to get into a round, like
Yep.
their team members and the ENSs attached to their team members, like buying our tokens, locking them and all that.
Yeah.
So we're not immune there.
Yeah. There's always those things happening. And speaking of other rounds that are coming up, so this is a little different. This
Yeah.
is announcing the Farcaster Network Goods funding round for spring of 2025. The biggest retro PGF round yet is coming to Farcaster, hosted on Rounds. We're rewarding builders, tools, and public goods that have delivered real value to the network. So this is, Tayab had announced this. We saw Octant mention it too. This is super exciting. So continuing on in this thread, initial funding momentum. We've already secured 6 ETH from Octant and DWR, with Purple expected to join soon, with a goal of 15 ETH. For the first time, we're inviting the Farcaster community to contribute directly via a dedicated contribution mini app launching soon, which I love that. I think that's fantastic. Let's fund the ecosystem together. And then there's some dates here. Community contribution window will open May 5th. Mid-May, project submissions will open. Late May, community voting. And then early June, due diligence and distributions. So that's going to be the part where we check things to make sure you're legit.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So this is for infrastructure, utility tools, education, and onboarding, mini apps, and creative formats. So this is super exciting. Really great to see this. Great timing, obviously, for the announcement to be able to talk about this more at FarCon. How did this all come together? Was this Tab reaching out to you all, or was it like an Octant generated thing? Like, where did this idea come together?
It was Tayab, yeah. And I mean, the man has such a kind heart. He had this bigger idea around something he wanted to build for Octant, but as we're still, kind of getting the foundation underneath us for V2, we're not quite ready yet for this bigger idea that he has. So my, hitting the tennis ball back to him said, we ran this really awesome funding round, I think about 6 months ago, with Chris Carrera and the Purple community. And I think it would be really cool to do something there. And so, Tayab had this great idea. Well, there's a lot of Farcaster rewards that are getting sent out right now. What if people had a frame where they're able to donate those rewards to a round? And I said, that is a slam dunk. So let's do this. So he's been putting a lot of effort towards all of this, basically project management, organization across the board. And then Chris Carrera has been doing a bunch of great work as well, getting the Purple community lined up for this. They already did confirm the vote. So the vote passed. And so that ETH is going to be coming in from their side as well. So yeah, the last piece of this is just hoping to drive awareness around individuals being able to contribute to this as well. And so, yeah, we're really excited around what the potential of this could be.
I love it. And I'm like right now going, did I vote on that? I hope I did. I can't remember if I voted or not. Hopefully I did. I can't remember.
It passed either way.
That's
So
exciting.
No sweat.
It passed. So
yeah.
At least it's not my fault. I only have 5 tokens anyway. But that's good. Good to hear.
I love to see this. I remember the last round when Octant came in and helped, like, co-funded the round. Purple is kind of the OG Farcaster DAO, and is designed to really help proliferate and support Farcaster ecosystem. Does not have a massive treasury, but is so is just so embedded into Farcaster culture. So I was so pleased to see James Octant come in to kind of also just financially support, and I love to see Octant just leaning further and further into Farcaster, because there's so many, like, just values wise, so similar. So just kind of anyone listening, make sure you're following Octant account and Octant channel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll
And-
say something on that. I joined a purple call that Chris invited me to, I think about 7 or 8 months ago, and just listening to so many people on that call, I was like, oh, all the guys and gals on this call are studs. Like there is such high quality individuals here in this group that we need to be engaging with people more here. So like, yeah, it's been nothing but great vibes ever since.
So Purple is actually the first DAO on Nouns Builder, which was launched by Zora and funded by Nouns, which I'm the community resident for. And they actually launched before Builder DAO, which is like the stewards of Nouns Builder. So it was the very first. He kind of snuck in there and launched it so fast that that he beat Jacob to the punch. He beat Jacob to launching Builder DAO. So it's been amazing to see the way that Purple has evolved over the years, and it's still such a strong DAO for, even though there's other opportunities now to get funding, even coming from Merkle. When Farcaster was first starting and people were building on here, there really wasn't. So that's been some of the first pieces of funding that a lot of people who are building in the Farcaster ecosystem got, including GM Farcaster. That was our first revenue source. So, and it kind of not only helps you keep going from a financial perspective, but also just from the encouragement of like, oh, you see me, you see what we're doing is valuable. Let's keep going. And that it can be just as valuable as the funding. So excited to see what happens with this round and who ends up winning these grants. It's going to be exciting.
Right on.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Also, by the way, this is hilarious. DWR bringing some meat to the round.
I don't know. I was like, I need to stop looking at work for a second. I'm just gonna, fuck around a little bit on this. And I saw this video. I was like, oh, this would be fun.
Yeah, I just really want him to walk into FarCon like that now.
Right.
That would be
I was trying to manifest that myself. Yeah.
So
have you guys met him?
Yes, I have. That's why I would love to see this happen.
He's going to be walking in with his boat shoes. He is not going to.
I don't know. I think we can get him to get funky. Come on, Dan. Speaking of funky things, let's talk about degens and dragons. I'm obsessed. I've been collecting them all. By the way, we're going to talk about what this is, but also let me just check right now and see if there's still some sponsored mints. Oh, they might have gotten snapped up. Nope. I think there's still some there. So, Adrienne, normally I've only been sponsoring 3.
I saw you did 25 today.
21.
Okay.
And here's why. Because number 1, James was going to be here, but number 2, otherwise we're going to be 3rd on the list and somebody else might jump in front of us. And I want to make sure we're a top sponsor. So I was like, I'm going to go 1 over the top.
That's very yes to crypto coding.
Amazing.
It's very yes. Very yes to crypto coded. We like a leaderboard. We want to.
By the way, on highlight's cool, right? Because you can sponsor mints.
Yeah, it's so cool.
When mints are sponsored, I think you can't do them without a sponsorship. Like it just automatically takes.
Yes, you claim
whoever's sponsoring. Yeah. Like when you go to claim,
it's doing right now.
It's automatically sponsored.
Yeah, so I think
I went to claim one this morning. I'm like, I don't need to take one of our sponsored slots, but I didn't have a choice. So
you have no choice. Yeah. Yeah, it'll still pay. So I know. So what I've been doing is minting one to GM Farcaster before I sponsor, so that I don't stake one of the ones. Oh, somebody just sponsored 30. Oh, we lost the top spot. See?
Oh, look who it is though. It's Michelle.
It's Michelle.
Who runs, is it marketing or event for Octant?
Yeah.
Marketing. Yeah.
Marketing.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to get us. I think she's trolling us.
Good thing I jumped up there. I mean, we'd be off the leaderboard. So that's why I did that. So let's talk about what this is. What is degens and dragons? Oh, did you lose we might have lost him. Oh, we can't hear you, James.
Is there an echo if
no, you're okay.
Headphones?
No, you're okay. A little bit, but it's okay. So tell us a little bit about what Degen and Dragons is, and if you will give us any alpha about what happens next once we grab all these.
Yeah, totally. So the idea that we're trying to run with this whole protocol and everything else that we're building is this narrative that we've seen play out in the space where there are a bunch of dragons around the Ethereum ecosystem that are sitting on these piles of gold. And many of them aren't doing anything with this pile of gold. And Golem is what I think to be one of the first dragons here that we've tried to slay, so to speak. Getting them to mobilize that big pile of gold to do something good with it. And then, beyond the dragons that have all this wealth, there's a ton of degens in the ecosystem that are just trying to create a better financial world for themselves. And so there's this story that we're trying to manifest or tell with all of this that, Ethereum can be that place where everybody has this financial opportunity to prosper and manifest whatever they want to, beyond the financials. So, this is the story that we're going to be telling with this. There's going to be a lot of lore and everything else. The alpha is that this is going to tie into a bigger sort of contest that we're going to be creating on the writing and on the art side. Nico also has some really good ideas around how he wants to level up what everybody's collecting right now, but I'm told I have to keep that a secret. But yeah, the bigger thing that I think we're
maybe
going
if we
to be
got you
tapping
here,
into later this summer is really supporting
alpha.
creators both on the writing and art side, to have them be able to express like how they view kind of the ecosystem through the lens of degens and dragons. So we're really excited about that.
I'm really excited to see that. We have some incredible artists on Farcaster who I know will slay this. So pun intended. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it, especially in the Nouns community and Yellow Collective and some of the artists we featured with GM Farcaster. Like, I'm excited to see what they do because I know they'll do some really fun, creative things with this. But also I'm just enjoying collecting these. It's been a while since there's been something fun with NFTs like this that I just haven't seen anything like it for a while. And it's been really cool that there's 3 dropping each week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're only available for 1 week. So if you go backwards, you might want to grab the other ones that are still available. I think 9, 10, and 11 right now, maybe. But you better move quick is all I'm going to say, because they're going to be gone and then you won't be able to get them. And I will have them all.
Sounds scarcity coded.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
scarcity coded.
Yeah, I mean, maybe tapping into the FOMO a little bit there, but yeah, the little side note about that is that was actually a pitch deck that we had initially created for ETH Denver. We wanted to kind of get creative with what the Octant V2 pitch was. And so literally our head of design and our head of product over like the course of 48 hours had this idea and literally got the cards printed 48 hours later and ready to go for ETH Denver. That I think was another 2 days after that. So they somehow turned this around like super, super quick. And then we realized like we should start doing more with it after Denver concluded.
By the way, I love your new PFP. It's like it's in the, I assume it's by the same artist who's been doing all the art here.
Totally.
But really cool. Really, really cool. So you guys, I think
maybe I'll drop a little alpha on this. We want to be able to create more custom PFPs for folks. And so there's going to be some contests around that. So a little alpha around like what you were asking a bit earlier, but yeah, some of that is around some custom PFPs if anyone's looking for that.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So I have one more thing that I want to touch on, and then I'll see if there's anything else we missed. I don't know what this is, but apparently it's the day. It's the day. It's the day. It's the day with Regen. So what is Octant doing with Regen? And can you say anything yet? Or is this still coming today?
So there are some experiments happening right now in our Discord that we've been running with for a little while. So I actually started this thing called Block Party that has been like this very fun way of educating our community around like what we're building. And then Nico has transitioned that as we moved more into this like Degens and Dragons lore, has transitioned this into the Dragon's Den. So they have some stuff that they've been running inside of there. We've also been like, we are very regen focused in terms of like what we're trying to build. So it's kind of tapping into that a little bit. But yeah, this is something that Nico and the community side have been cooking up for a little while that they're bringing into the Discord.
So can you talk a little bit about what regen is that you've
Yeah, totally. So Cyrus and Rev, I don't know if folks know of them, but they recognized that there was this very powerful sort of meme that the Farcaster community was tapping into with degen. And I think they wanted to kind of emulate that, where kind of more focusing on this like win-win sort of outcomes, similar to like what we're trying to drive with Octant, and creating better financial opportunity for both individuals and then the greater collective. This is something also Nico tried to, our head of community, he tried to tap into with this like degen/regens channel that also created the Lotto PGF channel, which is a pretty big channel on Farcaster. So with that, you know, people donate to, or sorry, they participate in this raffle. They could win, you know, a bunch of money, but some of those proceeds also go to funding public goods. So regen in a way is also trying to essentially use the power of storytelling and memes to create this kind of win-win environment for both the individual and you know, public goods or things that, you know, serve the greater collective.
I love that. I mean, lotteries have long been a source of public goods funding. Like,
oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
how we put. That's how we fund a lot of school systems now. Is
exactly
state lotteries,
yeah,
for real.
yeah.
That funds a whole bunch of higher ed scholarships in Florida, even for like the, you know, Powerball stuff. So it's you know, long been a thing.
Nico has all these crazy stats around like education and lotteries. Like I think Harvard or some of these like private schools like initially got their initial funding from lotteries like way back in the day. So yeah, there was some interesting stats that I had read about that a long time ago.
Yeah, so that's really so yeah, why not bring it to the crypto area?
Right. Yeah.
Anything else that I missed that we should have talked about that Octant has going on? There's so much happening right now that I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. And I know that with Degen and Dragons, there's going to be the art contest coming. There's V2 coming. So we know we're going to be talking a lot about all these different things, and obviously the Farcaster round, which is going to be basically, we'll be talking about that through the whole entire month of May. But anything else that we might have missed?
No, I mean, we've covered so much. So like this thing that we're trying to build for ecosystems to grow sustainably is one aspect. Another aspect, like you said, is the storytelling. And yeah, all, you know, the round on Farcaster, the contests and stuff. I think we covered everything here. So you both are extremely efficient.
It's a lot. So lastly, I'm going to turn it over to Adrienne. One thing we do like to do is some lightning rounds. But Adrienne, is there anything else before we hit lightning round?
I think we covered a ton. We did cover a ton today. James, it'd be cool if we get you back next month or someone else.
Or someone else,
the
yeah.
only other
maybe.
topic that I didn't plan on covering today and don't suggest, but I'm going to tease it out, is just, I'm curious to have a conversation about what you guys consider public goods. I know kind of the topic of like what is and what is not public goods, and it has been very hot lately. So maybe I'll just kind of seed that for the future.
Yeah. So I don't have to answer that right now?
You don't have to.
Okay. That is a very, very spicy comment.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I don't, oh man, I'll come with a better answer.
We have this
PR approach around how I want to answer that.
I think it has. Yeah,
we have a lot of conversations about that in nouns too. Like what's public goods, what's not. Yeah.
We're going to start moving away from public goods, I think, because like it's a sliding scale. And I think, you know, where one person sees like, you know, walking grandma across the street as being a public good, and then, you know, you have something that is affecting like on a mass scale, like orders of magnitude more people, you know, you have to then start to define like at what scale are we trying to make the impact. So Yeah, there's I'll come with a better answer next time,
Well,
but
I
I
knew
do have
there's
some
been
thoughts on that.
I knew there's been some controversy lately just
Yeah.
about various organizations supporting public goods. Like, I think everybody agrees they're wildly important and underfunded. Like, people agree that. Then it comes to, well, how do you support them? I think one of the hardest parts from like a crypto perspective, like it's easy in your neighborhood or like
Mhm.
small locality to talk public goods, right? But when you're trying to do something at a global scale, it's so much harder. Anywho, so I do have, I like to just drop things and not talk
She
about
likes to
them.
drop like really heavy topics and then run.
That's
But people
but
right. And speaking of, let's do non-heavy topics.
yes, on a lighter note, we love to end our interviews and chats with lightning round questions if you're up
Okay.
for them. So I just have they're fun. You don't have to think for these. So the first one is because we're a Farcaster show and Farcaster's a social network and it's all about making friends and connections. We talk about the URL to IRL pipeline a lot, which is meeting people first on the internet and then they become real friends. So how and when did you make your first internet friend?
How and when? Oh, um, I mean, this maybe is cheating a little bit, but I used to play obsessively video games like back in the day. So back in like middle school or early high school, I think I met up with some kids to play Halo.
Many such cases.
Yeah.
This is often an answer that we get is
Oh,
is
okay, cool.
some game connection. It often
Yeah.
happens that. Yeah.
I mean,
What's your
you get to
favorite?
feel out people so quickly in video games, right? So I think it's an easy way to find people that you vibe with.
I don't
For
play
sure.
video games. My husband says that also about sports. Like when he plays basketball, he's like, you learn a lot about someone by how they play basketball. Prof, I don't know what the non-sporty girly like comp to that is.
I don't know either. You learn a lot from playing golf too.
I don't
A
play golf
lot.
either.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of another similar thing, but we'll have to find the online version of that or the on-chain
It's
version.
yeah. James, what is your favorite channel on Farcaster?
Ooh. Okay. Um,
Obviously, the
honestly,
Octant channel.
like before. Okay, so I have two answers here. And both of them have kind of gone down. Like I understand moderation has been like a problem, but I really liked the spiritual channel that Kristen was leading there. Before it became just a bunch of bots like posting these like quotes that really
Yeah.
we're just kind of, botting away at it. The other one, I really, really appreciate the Ethereum channel because there's some really, really solid posts from people there that like have educated me on things that I had no clue about before I started reading that stuff. So I don't know, probably my yin and yang are both of those two channels.
That's great. We'll have to get Kristen. Kristen needs to dive back in now that a lot of the bots are gone.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot that channel. I remember when she
That's
launched
good.
it too. She
Yeah.
just so badly didn't want to have to ban anyone. Remember how
Right.
Yes.
it was
She's
like,
so nice.
oh,
Yes.
She's like one of the nicest people I've like ever met. It's probably
And it's the spiritual
weirdest thing,
channel.
but
You don't want to really
Yeah.
ban people from the spiritual channel. It seems wrong.
Yeah.
All right, morning person or night owl?
Morning person. My wife, when we started dating, had this like extremely early job that I had to like, before we got married, when I started living with her, I had to like acclimate to that. And I just became a morning person ever since, which really helps because most of my team is in Europe. So being in California, I have to get up early anyways to hash things out with them.
Perfect. What is your favorite holiday?
Oh, Labor Day, probably. It's in the summer. It's like leaning right in towards fall, and yeah, I get to like for sure pull from that. I don't have to work, and I get to enjoy like great weather in California.
Did Phil say the same thing?
Phil
It's
said
like
the
a
same thing.
California
Phil
thing,
right
like they
there.
love their Labor Day.
Yeah,
Their Labor Day.
On the East Coast, we love Memorial Day.
Yeah.
The start of the summer.
Totally.
Start of
I mean,
summer.
yeah, May weather on the East Coast is like it's spot on. That's where you want to be.
Okay. What is the next country you want to visit?
I've always wanted to get up into like the Arctic Circle and see the Northern
Ooh.
Lights, but I have a child on the way, And the wife has
Congratulations.
put the clamps down on traveling anytime soon. So I don't know when I'm
no
gonna get around
Arctic
to that.
Circle.
And we also did just watch oh shoot, what is that show that everybody watches? Not Black Mirror, but the other one, the one in Thailand. We really want to go to Thailand.
Oh, White Lotus.
Yeah, White
White Lotus. Thank you. Yeah. Thai food is like my second favorite cuisine, and I really want to go there. So
Thailand tourism is like through the roof right now because of the White Lotus.
Yeah. Oh, I would
funny.
imagine so. I only got to go to Bangkok for DevCon, so I was kind of sad I didn't get to travel a little bit more.
You would think with all the murders happening at White Lotus resorts, people would avoid travel.
No, they're like, sign me up. Sign me up for the craziness. All right, Adrienne, give them a couple more.
Is the best. Oh, I think I'm actually going to a Thai Filipino restaurant tonight.
All right.
Completely. Okay. Sorry, I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, what are you a completionist? Yes or no?
Yes and no. There's a lot of things that I feel sufficiently satisfied in that I don't finish. Sometimes I'll start books and get halfway through. I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling this, and I'm over it. I don't have to finish things. Yeah.
All right. By the way, I'm a completionist, and I'm starting to realize like the only way to succeed in modern life is to not.
I am not a completionist.
You can't be it. So I'm like, really, I'm a reformed.
My inbox notifications would make you insane.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you.
Oh my God, but you don't know the joy of inbox zero.
No, and I never will, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I really am.
Concert or sporting event?
Concert.
If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Oh shoot. Probably like abundance mindset. I'm already like thinking.
I was going to guess abundance mindset.
Yeah.
I have one that I won't even ask because I know the answer, but optimist or pessimist?
Optimist for sure. Yeah.
Of course.
You know, I have to be, because with a bunch of Polish team members, we would just be like,
to balance them out.
Oh yeah.
But they won't say they're pessimists, right?
They'll
say they're realists.
Yeah.
Pessimists will say we're not pessimists, we're just realists.
They say they're realists for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you eat kiwi with the skin on or off?
I don't eat kiwi. My wife hates me because I don't eat kiwi. Maybe actually she likes it because she gets to eat it all for herself. But yeah, I don't.
Do you know the Farcaster kiwi meme?
Mm-mm.
It's old. It's 2023, early 2023, and I'm a little bit of FarCon lore. At the first
I joined Farcaster mid 2023.
Okay.
So I probably
at the first FarCon.
Missed it.
Do you remember what the centerpieces were? And by centerpieces, like it was someone brought like a case of kiwis, and there were just kiwis everywhere.
As the centerpieces on all the tables. Yep.
Okay.
And it came down to, wasn't it Vitalik who said he eats it with the skin on? And that's where it all.
That's what that meant. Okay. Sorry. I did see that. Yeah.
like a apple. Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
Didn't have the context.
Yeah.
And just bookmark howtoeat.kiwi is an app that was built, I think, by Mac Bukowski from Kiwi News and maybe Tim Dowd. I'm not sure. I think they built it, but I could be wrong. But it's the explanation of the Farcaster meme.
There you go.
Cool.
Okay, last question. And then, what is the last thing you bought with crypto?
I think it would be pizza with Pizza DAO.
Nice.
So if people don't know about the pizza faucet, Snacks has set up this super cool like mechanism for which you can get reimbursed via crypto for pizza. It's called the pizza faucet. You just got to send a receipt, and he'll give you $25 in crypto to pay for your pizza. So I think kind of in a roundabout way, that's the last thing that I bought was pizza.
I think Pizza Faucet usually gets turned off close to Pizza Day.
Oh yeah, Pizza Day. That would make a lot of sense.
But
sure.
Pizza Day is coming up in May 22nd. And if I saw this correctly, I believe Octant is one of the sponsors now.
We are, yeah. And I'm going to be throwing a local party here in Santa Barbara. If anyone in the greater LA area is going to be a little further up north, then yeah, we'll definitely be having a pizza party up here. So
it's going to be Amazing. Look at this. Look at how many, it's crazy. It's crazy how many places in the world you can go to a pizza party. Like,
I try to explain this to my friends, like, you guys can go and get free pizza. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, the biggest pizza party of the year is happening most likely in a city you live in, and you should go. And
yeah,
I'm getting a bunch of my normie friends to go to one this year. Amazing.
I was just talking with Snacks yesterday because he's putting a prop up to announce, or putting it back up, I should say.
Okay.
It didn't go well the first time, so we're trying again. But amazing. And it's amazing to see. And that's where we got reconnected. We saw you at Pizza DAO in Denver, which that was an amazing event, and love seeing you there, and love that Octant is supporting Pizza DAO, which is just close to my heart. I love what they do. And I think it's a great way to onboard normies, just like you said, to crypto via one slice at a time. There you go.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
All right, Adrienne, anything else before we head out for the day?
I think we covered
This
it.
has been amazing. This has been such a great chat. I'm super excited for everything that's happening with Octant. It's amazing. So we'll be talking more about this as things develop, and I'm really looking forward to the round for on Farcaster. I think that's going to be incredible. So look for that, everybody. Okay. Any last words, James, before we sign off?
I just want to thank you both. Like, this has been such a pleasant chat. Really appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah, looking forward to keeping the convos rolling.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We will be back Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll have Emma with us. We'll be talking all things FarCon. So excited. We're going to see some of the Octant team at FarCon too. I believe some will be joining us for karaoke as well. So there you go. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be back Friday. And until then, everybody, bye-bye.